The history of the Royal Victoria Military Hospital at Netley has its roots in the Crimean War. The number of casualties was increasing and there was a need for more hospitals to accommodate them, and in March 1855 Queen Victoria commissioned the building of the first purpose-built military hospital. Building the hospital took 7 years, with a design heavily criticised by Florence Nightingale, who was particularly concerned about the long corridor running along the front of the building, which she said would keep out sunlight and stop the proper ventilation of the wards. In World War I, the wounded were evacuated from France with what were called blighty wounds, with the hospital ships docking at Southampton and casualties brought by ambulance or train by the train line added in 1900 to Netley. The Welsh Hospital was part of the British Red Cross Hospital, built to the rear of the Royal Victoria Hospital as a gift of the Welsh nation to the War Office in an offer made by the Prince of Wales on behalf of the people of Wales in August 1914, days after war was declared. Originally planned as a support for the British Expeditionary Force, a promise was made to fund 100 beds together with trained staff for 6 months. The idea was that it would be a temporary hospital which could be dismantled and moved over to France. The project progressed rapidly, and by November the 3rd it was ready to receive the first patients in 4 wards. The hospital was fully equipped with the most advanced medical and surgical equipment available, including X-ray machines which enabled doctors to accurately find the position of bullets and shrapnel splinters in wounds. In the days before the NHS, imaginative ways had to be found to support the annual cost of providing a bed. The first appeal began in the autumn of 1914 and raised £28,000, far more than was expected. The Liverpool Echo in June 1917 reported that the committee of the previous year's nationalised Deptford had decided to allocate £70 for the Aberystwyth bed at Netley. There is also mention in local papers of a Barmouth bed and a Vale of Taffy bed, as well as a Welsh dog bed and a Welsh horse bed. The dogs had dressed up and collected in the streets, whilst the horses had taken part in a pageant. Many of the huts and beds in Netley Hospital were sponsored by towns and cities whose residents raised funds and donated their efforts to help pay for the upkeep. The ladies especially were always having sales and fetes or asking for donations by collecting coins in tins, selling flags on flag days, and writing letters to their local newspapers for help. From Grantham to the Rhondda and everywhere in between, donations from whist drive, dances, concerts, garden fetes flooded into the Welsh Hospital, the British Red Cross Hospital and the Royal Victoria Hospital at Netley. In 1915, Aberystwyth churches, as other churches in Wales, received a special request from the Welsh Hospital Committee to hold a collection at their services in October called Welsh Hospital Sunday. This money was to help continue the work of the hospital until peace was declared, as the number of beds was increased to 200. In its first year, over 2,000 patients were treated, many of them casualties from the Gallipoli campaign. There was controversy too in the newspapers when workers at the Thornycroft shipyard in Southampton heard the rumour that German powers were taking the beds allocated to Allied casualties. As it turned out, the rumours were not true, with the irony that the beds in the ancient Royal Victoria Hospital main building were draughty, out of date, but secure, whilst the wards of the British Red Cross and Welsh hospitals were more modern, hygienic, heated, and better equipped. The film shows crocked but cheerful wounded Welsh soldiers on an organised route march from the Welsh Hospital in 1916. The Royal Victoria Military Hospital at Netley was the principal reception hospital during World War I, with 1,000 beds in the main building, supplemented by 1,500 beds in the hutted and tented British Red Cross and Welsh hospitals. It is estimated that they treated 10,000 and over 20,000 patients, respectively, over 5 years.